we are exploring issues and opportunities in Union County Public Schools. I'm your host, Amy Sperry, the Executive Director for the Union County Education Foundation, whose mission is to support students and encourage educators. Today, our theme is social and emotional learning, and our special guest is Megan Spurlock, the school counselor at Monroe High School. Welcome, Megan.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
It's great to see you. Thank you for participating.
You are welcome.
So we're going to ask you the question we're asking everyone, which is, if your favorite food could prevent the coronavirus, what would we all be eating right now?
So I would have to say we would all be eating Thai food because that is my absolute favorite. So for all of the haters out there and don't like spice, I don't know how that would go for them, but I love Thai food.
Well, I have someone for you to go out to dinner with then. That's the same answer that Melissa Merrill, the chair of the Board of Education, gave.
Oh gosh, no, that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. That's been the first answer that's been a duplicate.
So. Oh my goodness. Well, I equally like Indian food, so maybe, I could say both of them. So
yeah, that's awesome. So what does an ideal Saturday look like for you?
So my ideal Saturday would have to probably include me redecorating my house to match whatever season of the year it is. I would probably enjoy going to either the local boutiques or hitting a TJ Maxx, and then finishing the evening with dinner with family and friends for a social event.
That sounds lovely. I like it. So talk a little bit about yourself and where you're from and your family.
So I was born and raised here in Monroe, North Carolina. Live right outside of Unionville, actually. And surrounded by my family. A lot of my family lives on my road, actually. I have a younger sister who is also in education. She teaches kindergarten, and two wonderful parents.
Nice. Is your younger sister in Union County Public Schools?
No, she's not. She's actually in Stanley County.
Okay.
And then I have an aunt who teaches as well, and she's in Montgomery County. So we're in all different counties, but I am a true product of Union County Public Schools. I graduated from Piedmont High School in 2008.
Love it. So what is something that's unique about you or that not many people would know?
I would have to say probably not many people know that I live on a road named after my great-grandfather. So that's a reason why most of my family kind of lives on that road. So my parents are my neighbors to the right, and then my grandparents are my neighbors to the left. So we live on farmland, and I would say that's pretty unique. Not a lot of people get to say they live on a road named after their family.
Right. So how did you get into public education?
So once I graduated from college, I earned a degree in human development and family studies. My goal was to work with special needs children and families, and a job opportunity presented itself as an instructional tutor at Marshville Elementary. So I decided to explore that opportunity, and I fell in love with the school system. I enjoyed, seeing all of the kids, and definitely enjoyed the hours as well. So I was probably there for a total of 6 months, and that's when I realized that there is a huge need for the emotional support that kids need, and adults. So within 6 months, I applied to grad school and went back to school and earned my degree in professional school counseling.
And give a short job description and tell us the difference between the old term of guidance counselor and the new term of school counselor.
Right. So the older term guidance, I guess, has kind of died out within a few years, I guess, because we are not necessarily here to guide kids in a certain direction. Our goal is to meet kids exactly where they are. We're there to meet and assist the needs of each individual student. So that's where school counselor has been replaced with the word guidance. So a school counselor has several roles. which I know a lot of people are not, familiar with. So I'm at the high school level. So a big part of my role here is to assist in scheduling and making sure each student has the classes that they need in order to graduate. So I meet with students regularly to discuss academic and also emotional needs. And then I provide resources for students with whatever they are. I have a huge binder of all of these things, from financial support, um, college support, and therapy and family support. So I have a huge list of resources that I'm able to provide students and families with. So, and then I would say a big component of my job is I am a mediator, or the link between teachers and students, and then students and admin, and then student or teachers and parents. So if there is an issue with a student in a classroom, the teacher will come to me and say, I'm experiencing this with him, can you speak with him? Or if a student comes to me and they're like, I'm really struggling with this, can we talk about it here? So and then also the behavioral piece. If there's something that's going on, I'm usually the first line of defense before we go to administration. So I would say that I'm a link between all of those things and trying to keep everything cohesive and just being here for that emotional support.
Right. That's a difficult role, to be that link.
Yeah, because sometimes within those meetings, I have to wear several hats. Sometimes I have to be the parent of that child. Sometimes I have to be the friend. Then I have to be the counselor, and sometimes I have to be the teacher. So it's a lot sometimes when you're meeting one-on-one, and you just have you're filling out the situation, and you're saying, okay, what can I best advise this kid, or how can I best help this particular kid?
Right. So our theme for the day is social emotional learning. And how would you describe what we mean when we talk about social emotional learning?
Right. So
a public school term, and people also say SEL. So what does that mean?
So for public school, I would say we are trying to develop well-rounded students that are going to go out and be productive members of society. So we are not only looking at the academic piece, we're looking at the social emotional, which, obviously we say here for SEL. So this is the process in which students acquire and effectively apply the knowledge, attitude, skills necessary to understand and manage emotions and set and achieve positive goals. So here at Monroe High School, the needs of our students are just as diverse as our students. So for us, we do have actually a social emotional team set in place here at the high school level. So teachers are allowed to submit names to that, and we meet as a team to discuss where we can best help and support the student, because we look at the student as a whole. So for example, we look at the student's academics piece, and then we look at supporting them with their personal issues. And then we talk about the feelings of, anxiety or being overwhelmed, whatever circumstances they have going on. And then we try to then, if I'm meeting with them one-on-one, develop that understanding for why they're feeling the way they're feeling, and then helping them recognize how to respond to those feelings. So that, and it looks different at different levels. So from my experience when I was at the elementary school level, I would go into classrooms and teach lessons on empathy and learning how to share and learning how to respond to those emotions when we feel angry. And then at the high school level, it's a little bit more mature conversations, one-on-one, just seeing what that student needs and then going forward from there.
So we've talked a little bit about what your week looks like and the resources you provide to students. Is there anything else you'd like to say about, what a typical day or week looks like? Like, I'm picturing, a student just kind of popping into your office with maybe urgent needs.
Right.
And I'm wondering, how much does that happen for you?
Yeah. So that's very often, outside of pandemic world. But so I would say that there's not a typical day for a school counselor, which is one of the things I love about this role. I don't have a schedule, a routine. Some days I come in and I'm immediately hit at the door with a student that's in crisis, and then I work with that student. So, we do have schedules as far as scheduling times to meet with certain students and parents and teachers, and then obviously admin meetings, because we work very closely with the administrative team. But our main role is to meet the students where they are. So it really is a kind of a pop-in situation. And like I said, before pandemic, I would have to be kicking kids out of my office really. And so I miss that, because now they have to come in and it has to be scheduled and everyone has to know that they're in and go through the procedure of checking into school. So it is a little bit different this year.
Right. So speak more about how your role has changed as a school counselor during the pandemic. What are you doing now that you haven't done before?
Well, so I would say now I am really working more on Canvas, which is because since we are doing virtual learning, which is new to all of us, I have never worked so closely with Canvas and teachers. So
And
of course
for viewers who don't know, tell us what Canvas is.
So Canvas is our platform at which students access all of their classes. That's where they have all of their lessons. A lot of their teachers pre-record them teaching, and that's where they go in there and access that. So students have had Canvas since middle school, I do believe, or maybe as early as elementary. But now it's really important, because before they weren't going on there to access their assignments. They weren't going on there to meet with schedule a meeting to meet with their teacher. So as far as something different this year that I've done, I bring parents in, and along with the student, we sit down and look at their computer and open it up, and we go through each individual class. I have to show them where the assignments are, how to contact their teacher. There's so many different buttons and tools on there that it becomes very overwhelming, especially if you're not used to it. And then on the parent side, they're not familiar with it at all. So then I have to show them where they can go in and ask their child, hey, show me what you did today. Show me where you completed these assignments that were due today. So that is something new to my role that I've had to learn.
Right. How would you describe the most rewarding part of what you do?
So the most rewarding part of my job is seeing students overcome the circumstances that they're in. So like I said, I work at Monroe High School, and I love the population that I serve, but watching them grow. And the good thing about the school counselor role that I'm in is we follow them each year. So I started with them in 10th grade, and now they're seniors. So one, I've gotten to watch them mature and grow into these adults, but the ones that have been able to overcome their circumstances, and knowing that I've been a vital piece in that and helping them overcome, has been very rewarding.
Are you able to share what some of those circumstances are that you've seen that have been hard to overcome?
Yeah, so some students, so I was actually just working with a student yesterday who came to us from Guatemala. So he entered in 9th grade and he knew 0 English. So he is now in 12th grade. He only has a few classes to go until he graduates. And he has had to learn English. He has had to maintain a job, and he has had to live with his aunt and uncles, because he came here wanting a better life. He came here wanting an education from the United States. So he has overcome those barriers and has been able to come here and value education enough to say, no, I am not going to quit. I am going to earn this. And so when we met the other day, he's actually starting his citizenship process. So, even though he was not able to speak our language and he hadn't been in school since 4th grade, he was able to come here and excel, really.
Wow, that is a story.
Yeah.
Are there some ways you've seen the business community come alongside your students to help them?
Yeah, so we partner with several businesses, I know, and establishing those partnerships is really huge. So we are able to work with them as far as supporting the importance of education when, outsiders come in and they say what they do and the degrees that they have. They're promoting that level of education and showing our students that it is important. And we've developed mentors through those programs, through those businesses as well. So it is a huge, vital piece that we have that support.
That's great. Have you seen education change during your tenure I know the coronavirus is sort of different right now, but are there other ways that you've seen public education change?
Yep, so I actually graduated high school 12 years ago. So hasn't been that long that I've been out of school. So I will say that I did not have to face hardly any of the challenges that the students have to face now, it seems. I didn't have to worry about the social media piece. I didn't have to worry about my pictures showing up on Snapchat and then being dropped in the middle of the cafeteria somewhere. I didn't have to worry about virtual learning. And then, the peer pressure level of this time and age is so much more greater than it was when I was in school. So there have been a lot of changes just within the 12 years that it's been since I've been out of high school.
Right. So what's the trajectory of your work for the rest of the school year?
So since I am actually the senior counselor, I have 12th graders this year. My main goal is to get all of these students to that finish line. So I want to help them graduate. So I'm working diligently to ensure that we do not stop, we do not quit, because we are so close. Because that is one thing that I'm facing and hearing a lot. Like, I'm already working, which a lot of students have gone out into the community and gotten a job. And so they're making that money and they're like, I'm already working and doing this online is hard. So I'm just going to stop. So I've been working very hard to encourage them to keep going because I want to produce a well-rounded 2021 Monroe High School graduate class. So that is my goal.
Amen. Love it. Yes, they need to get their degree.
Right.
So if someone is watching, like a business person wants to come and be a part of what you're doing there or help or be a partner, how would they get in touch with you?
So they could contact me via email. My name is Megan Spurlock. So it would be megan.spurlock@ucps.k12.nc.us. Or you could call Monroe High School and ask for me or speak to anybody here at Monroe High School if you would like to. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts, Megan, for
well, as far as our partnership with businesses, I think that it is a huge asset that we have because we could develop, like I said, mentors or tutoring or just producing some positive incentives for students that do attend school. So I think that anything helps. When we partner with Elevation and they came in and just spruced up the staff bathroom one year, and that just made such a difference to us. So anything simple, may seem simple to someone else, is a great deal to us here. So
exactly, it makes you feel seen.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. Well, it's been great to have you, and I've learned a lot. And thank you for your time. And I also just wanted to say thanks to all of our sponsors for making the Public Ed Summit possible, and to the viewers for watching. You are helping us to support students and encourage educators. Thanks so much and have a great afternoon.